Hello to all you beautiful people out there on the internet. A few months ago I did a video on the first Best of the Best movie, as I thought it would be fun to travel back and see one of my favorite action films from my childhood. And fun it was, so why stop there? I am Torstein from CinemaTerror, and this is Best of the Best Part 2. A few years has passed since the brutal sporting event between the US and South Korea. The tournament would result in some close friendships between the American fighters, and Alex, Tommy and Travis have even gone into business together by building a martial arts school. Travis is secretly still fighting though, as he has gotten himself involved with the underground fighting scene in Las Vegas, where the only rules are one night, while Travis is responsible for Walter, the 11-year-old son of Alex, and supposed to take him out to go bowling, Travis instead takes Walter to one of these brutal fights where Travis is going head to head with the undefeated champion Brackus. The fight ends with Brackus snapping the neck of Travis in full display of a cheerful crowd and also young Walter. The owners of the underground fighting ring have set up the death of Travis to look like an accident, and the authorities do not take Walter seriously. So Alex and Tommy sets out a plan to bring down the underground illegal fighting ring once and for all. They will not have the time to plan for long though, as the bad guys are already aware of Walter witnessing the murder of Travis, so they are also plotting to get their evil hands on them, and force them to fight a match to the death against Brackus, with the last man standing proving he is the best of the best. Best of the Best 2 ditches the tournament aspect of the first one and tries to switch things up by raising the stakes. This time it is not about becoming a team, overcoming obstacles in life and ending victoriously. This is a fight for survival. This change was a good move, as it would easily become repetitive if they went back to do more stories in the same tournament format that the first one had. The plot does keep its simplicity of the first one, as there is nothing surprising to be found in Best of the Best 2. It's a formulaic action film that you can guess the ending of early on, but it still keeps the viewing experience entertaining with all of its glorious kicks and punches. The backbone of Best of the Best 2 is the friendship between Eric Roberts as Alex and Phillip Rhee as Tommy, and they feel nearly inseparable in this one. Either of them seem to be unable to function without the other, which makes them a good pairing for an action film like this. I did not understand why they would continue to have a friendship with Travis Brickley though. He was a racist asshole in the first film, and although he's a bit toned down here, he's still not a decent dude. Not saying he deserves to die or anything, but he is responsible for the danger that the rest is put in by taking Walter to the underground fighting match, regardless if Walter is sort of blackmailing him into it or not. In my mind, Alex and Tommy do not need any other friends anyway, they have each other and that should be enough. They actually don't seem to function that well with anyone else. Alex becomes quite a dick towards his girlfriend Sue, played by Meg Foster, when she doesn't want to report the truth about the murder of Travis on her TV news show. He tries to make her do this by interrupting their newscast a few minutes before they go live, and nearly threatens to end their relationship if she doesn't comply, even though she is only a sports journalist. I bet he wouldn't treat Tommy that way. The main attractions to movies like this is of course the fight scenes, and I have to say they were a bit disappointing. Phillip Rhee is obviously the standout and a great martial artist, but I don't think the fight choreography was able to show off his full potential. They are also very short, and I would have liked to see more of the running time be dedicated to them. The other ones involved do mostly the regular kick and punches, which by all means are fun, and I'm sure my exposure to the insane martial arts you get from action movies from Asia have set my bar for fight scenes higher than what it was when I was younger and saw the Best of the Best films for the very first time. The bad guys are hilariously cartoonish, just the way we want them. The big bad meanie Brackus is played by Ralf Moeller. He is like the love child of Dolph Lundgren and Arnold Schwarzenegger. which of course makes him perfect as a villain in Best of the Best 2. I still don't think Penn or Eric Roberts came off convincingly as fighters, but it doesn't matter that much in this one as it is removed from the competition scenario. Roberts is in great shape though and is absolutely ripped, which is the least he could do after shedding the glorious hair he had in the first film. The first Best of the Best had a lot of melodrama and it is still present in this sequel, but since the story is more brutal, it plays a bit more in the background. There is still a good-hearted feel to this one as well, making it more of a fantasy than a serious, realistic action movie. The biggest downside to Best of the Best 2 is however its running time of 101 minutes, or rather the story structure. I could do without the trip to Tommy's family, and the time they spent with his uncle James. At least I think he was his uncle. I'm not sure why they went with Tommy having a Native American family, but oh well, doesn't matter that much even if it was distracting for a moment or two.
I'm gonna have to hurt you, man. Pretty good. You're gonna have to do better than that, boy.
I was also unsure of why Dae-Han, the sort of villain from the first film, showed up again at different parts of this one. He has no place in the story at all, and I can only assume he was there due to the character being portrayed by Phillip Rhee's brother Simon, who also served on the film as a stunt coordinator. Even today, nearly 30 years later, Simon is still active working as a professional stunt expert. Some of his recent contributions can be seen in high-profile stuff like WandaVision and Birds of Prey. Oh, and I need to mention that Kane Hodder shows up in a small part again, just like he did in the first film. Best of the Best 2 would be the last in the franchise to get a theatrical release in the US, since it failed to make back its production budget of $7 million upon its release. There would however still be 2 more entries to the Best of the Best franchise, both with only Phillip Rhee returning as Tommy, but sadly no Eric Roberts. Rhee would also take on the job of director on the final 2, which would be his only directorial work up until his 2015 family action Underdog Kids, which I feel like I should check out someday.
Believe in yourself.
Be strong. Good luck to you out there.
Best of the Best 2 is more of what you love, but with enough new flavor to make it stand apart from its predecessor. It tells a different type of story, but keeps some of the same underlying intent. I think this is just as good as the first one, and I found it to be an enjoyable revisit. It is a movie made for action fans only, but if you are okay with silly, cartoonish, nearly fantasy kick and punch movies, then this should be an enjoyable watch. There is plenty of fun to be had there, so I'm giving Best of the Best 2 the good score of 3 out of 5. Have you seen Best of the Best Part 2? What are your thoughts on this one? And should I go on to check out the 3rd and 4th entries, or rather spend my time on something different but similar? I did consider going with Bloodsport instead, so if there's any request for that franchise, then let me know in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, pressing that darn like button and all of that stuff is appreciated, and I look forward to seeing you again for more reviews of entertaining movies from the lovely VHS era, here on CinemaTerror. Thank you.